What's going on, guys? So today on this SHOKY QUICKIE, we're looking at more stuff from NECA. This time it's something that I had for a while, but obviously I missed Halloween. And it is their first run at a Universal classic monster with the original horror show, Frankenstein. The man who made a monster. That's actually technically that guy. This, on the other hand, is not actually Frankenstein. So we got Colin Clive, May Clark, John Boyles, Boris Karloff as the monster, which is cool. Ultimate Frankenstein's Monster, Universal re-release. Alright, so this is the box, obviously, copying the original movie poster. Looks great. Come right here, get a nice image there. And you got Universal Monster Series real toys. Come to the back, you got Frankenstein. And then you got Monster. Hey, look, more Monster. More Monster, and then more Monster. Now, there are two different versions of this. This is the colorized version, the regular release, as it were. And then there's also this version. So I'm going to review these together because they're basically the same thing. They just look different as it is. I really like this image here. It's the same, pretty much the same image, a little bit different contrast, stuff like that. Frankenstein got blood going on there. Also a lot of dust, because that's what happens with my life. Warning, the monster is loose, except the main difference is he's black and white. They even give you, well, actually give you different poses, which is really cool there to actually even change up the packaging itself. You can get that shot there. And we'll go ahead and we'll open the packaging like so. We'll see the black and white version as it is. It's pretty cool. We'll just call it desaturated. So it's like black and white, but it's also got a hint of sepia tone. So you got the extra heads, extra hands, and all the accessories down there. And now we'll open the colorized version. And, well, the funny part is, essentially his suit doesn't change much, but everything else does. Originally I wanted only the black and white one, and then I picked this one up first, and then like I think 2 weeks later I legit found the black and white version. I think I got one at Walmart, and I think I got the other at Target. I don't know if they were exclusives. I think the black and white one might have been exclusive. And for all of the Universal classic monsters, they are doing dual releases like this, color and black and white. We've got the Wolfman and the Mummy coming, and they showed off Dracula images initially, so hopefully we'll get like Creature from the Black Lagoon. I think they're going to do an Invisible Man where he's probably got like partial wraps and then like translucent body, stuff like that. I think that might be what they're doing. I have no idea offhand, but these are great. So the problem is I really wanted to do a black and white collection, but these color ones, there's something really special going on with that. So that's going to be a thing that's a bit hard to justify not having both. And it's funny, that's the same head done two different ways, at least color-wise. So we're going to look at these side by side since the all the accessories, everything is the same. There's no difference except for the paint and color. So that's the things we're really going to pay attention to in this. And then I got to decide ultimately if I'm going to keep the color one. I definitely want the black and white one. I don't know if I'm going to keep the color one. So let's move on. Alright, guys. Back with Dual Frankenstein review. I did do an out-the-box reaction, and also I filmed some stuff we'll be looking here in just a second, but that's just how these things work. You're going to have to film and edit something separately and then add it in here in a minute. So, of course, obviously over here we have the black and white version, and over here we have the in-color version. Some of you realize I said that wrong on purpose. Anyways, so in the comparison, we'll see the turntable footage here. Now, of course, basically, one way I'll put it, the black and white one, as we're looking at it panning through here, the base colors, at least for the clothes, are probably identical, and then they just end up doing a different form of weathering and wash with the dry brushing and whatnot like that, keeping it with more light grays and things like that, whereas the normal one does it with, I don't know, real colors. And a really strange thing, and we'll talk about it more as we go along, but like I thought the black and white one would satisfy an itch a little bit more than it did, at least upon initial reaction. But maybe it's just the this normal face. But the paint jobs between the both of them are actually really well done, and with the normal NECA issues aside, they're actually pretty fun. So let's go ahead and look a little bit closer at them. So let's start. We'll start side by side just a little bit here. And yeah, they're pretty dang tall, though something's going on here with this one's neck. It appears like his whole neck is turned and like it's up too high. Oh, there we go. Okay. So that's what it is. He doesn't have his head tilted forward. There we go. Now they're closer to the same height. But for some reason, this one was taller. Now, they should be identical molds, even though apparently their packaging was not, as you'll see in the unboxing, or the out-the-box reaction if you're a channel member. But yeah, I mean, these guys are just freaking cool. Like, articulation and stuff. Okay, let's just mostly look at the colorized version here first. And I'm going to do this to the best of my ability. Let's zoom in on his face here. That's not his face. Actually, I only wanted 2x. But, like, look at that. That's just stupid good. Like, he's got, like, this is the just woke up face. And yeah, he definitely looks like he just woke up. But look at the bags under the eyes, the discoloration, the very fallow skin tone. It's just absurd. I mean, the mold in and of itself is really cool. Look at this. There's a big old scar on his jaw there. That's crazy. You got the neck bolts and some blood and crud coming through there. One thing, I think I always assumed that it was a bolt going in each neck. This makes me believe that it's actually one bar going all the way through his neck. This is what it looks like to me. It might not be that way, but this is what it looks like. I mean, even up under the neck, they've added shading and dried blood, which is pretty awesome. The hair is fine. One hard seam line across there. You got the weird white stripe in the hair. I don't think I ever knew what that was there for. Is that a staple? I don't remember. That might be a big staple holding his head together, but it's white on the black and white one, but that is just fantastic. And then the wound on the head, that they added some gloss paint to it to make the blood still look fresh, which is kind of the situation for the whole figure. It's just fantastic. So he should have a double ball joint, I believe, in the neck, and then a single down here. So you get a lot of movement. You can look way up, obviously. Confused. Frankie neck, or put the head down. He's been hung. Either way, pretty cool. The vest, well, technically a vest because the arms, the sleeves are not attached. It's technically a vest. So the jacket is crazy looking. I think this is a prisoner jacket. I don't remember exactly, but it looks like it's a base gray, like you can see under here, and then all the dry brushing and stuff like that to make it dirty and filthy. I love the button here. Like, obviously, it's a single button enclosed, but his body's so big. I don't know if he has any torso. Yeah, he does. He's got at least the standard, like, torso ball joint, if I had to guess. Then for the arms, you can go out to there. Not going to reach up any higher because of the way the arm is. But if you want to, you can. Course, come forward. Back's going to be a lot more limited due to the sleeve itself, while you can see the entire upper torso moving as I'm manipulating the arm. The sleeve has the same detailing as everything else. It's got single jointed elbow, which is good for a little over 90, or I guess if it was straight up and down, probably just 90. There you go. And of course, it does come with the classic NECA not clearancing their damn elbows at all, so the paint all gets worn off on the first go. That part sucks. You do get the bicep rotation, as you do, which is good. I'm going to talk about the hands and the wrist. Look at this. That just looks disgusting. Looks like a half-rotten body that's been slapped together, and just the dried blood and wounds and come all the way around. You even got under there. Almost like the bones want to poke out. Of course, you get the normal wrist. I mean, even the hand is painted the same way with all the crud on it. Gray fingernails, looks crazy. And then they have to differentiate, so this is even better. So, like, look at that. So he's even got, like, metal holding it together. Yeah, nice silver, really silvery paint there. And the dried blood coming out of it, or less than dried blood in some places. Even look at this, the palms are painted. When's the last time you saw a figure that had the palm painted to look kind of real? I didn't really point it out, but that one is too. It's airbrushed ever so lightly. Alright, so he does have full pants, which are good. Something you never really see. Got some fur happening under there. Gigantic zipper. Look at that. Like, good lord, my friend. Big pants. Big pants for a big boy. And it does rotate. I believe that's at the shirt, more than likely. Up under there. Thighs and hips are very active. You can do that. You can come forward, but, you know, only so far. But he's Frankenstein, so you're not really going to do that. Back, can't do anything because he has this gigantic booty happening. And then I don't know what's going on with that particular wrinkle, but maybe there was another place that had bolts. I'm not sure. You get single jointed knees, which you can see have also worn paint off, which is fantastic. Good job, NECA. Seriously, need to clearance those joints better. But one thing I want to point out, look at this on the knees. They actually included some dirt, like he's been kneeling, so come on. Because like there's a scene where he's kneeling down by the riverbank or the whatever pond. Also, another fantastic thing they do, single jointed knee, but they add wrinkles to the pants up under there so that when you bend the knee, it's the wrinkles. That's awesome. Dry brush everywhere. Heavily textured as well, so it feels dirty. Like the pants feel gross. Everything feels gross about it. And then like come down the leg, a lot more dry brushing down here. And then you get to the bottom of the pants. And this is a criticism I have. They had an opportunity here. So the pants end up here, and then these would be his socks, more or less. Why not, I don't know, put a cut there and give the whole foot swivel? You get normal articulation. So you get this. You get the rocker. Come down a little bit more. You get the rocker, and you get the forward and back, even though the forward and back's super limited due to how chunky the feet are. Like that. He can do it, it's just weird. But perfect spot to have a boot cut or an ankle cut. It could have easily just gone up inside there, had a really perfectly functional ankle so the feet themselves could turn. But no. And then also these weird combo shoes that are going on. Now, there was always these weird depictions where he had metal soles, say like Herman Munster or Munster and a few of the other variations of Frankenstein. Like the bottom of his shoes were metal, like to make him taller, or I guess channel electricity through his legs, like so it was coming in through his neck and going all the way through to his feet. But this looks like it's like normal shoe and then boot. So I don't know if that was because the guy was so big and he didn't have proper fitting shoes, so he made him better shoes. I'm not too familiar with the lore. But this is still a fantastic thing. So, I mean, like, even if we get here, one, you know, it's just absurdly good. Now, for the black and white one, which, once again, I'm slightly disappointed in. Hold on, let me just do the same thing I did before. Zoom in like a smart person. It doesn't look as good. Like, while they have shading and stuff like that, I guess not having the color doesn't, or just makes it as good. But what's funny about it is, I guess it adds more contrast. Like, the lighter stuff would show up more, but it ends up looking a little cartoony. And the lack of blood is really funny. Like, so around the neck and stuff, they don't even bother with blood. Like, they could have added just some clear shine to that, and you would just know that it was bleeding. So I just feel like they missed a step there. And then the dry brushing and stuff like that is obviously like white or light gray. You still get some silver down here in this particular arm wound as it's focusing on it. But even though they airbrush the hands, kind of just make them dirty, I think without the reds and even like the real skin tones, it actually is missing something. I mean, there's not a whole lot really to contrast here, except for the fact that, they just did different shading. I mean, even on the back, it's like super obvious there, but it's still good. And then he's still got the weird thing going on with his pants, but, um, I don't know. Like, I feel like I really wanted the black and white variants of all of the Universal monsters that are coming, but now I think I might only want the color ones. But I guess it'll depend. So I'm going to hold on to them for now, because I might still do it as a black and white display. But we got to do the crap ton of accessories these guys come with. So let's do that real quick. Alright, so first up we get the kind of happy Frankenstein face here. And once again, the color one, I think, is really winning it over. Something about the black and white one just takes away from it. It's still good, and they're still doing what they can to shade the same effects, but the differences in skin tone totally get lost. Like, even with trying to do a wash, we're not going to ignore the paint around the ear being bad. At least on these. But what's interesting, I was thinking that, like, the hair color would be the same. No, they're actually using a different base gray. And it's just interesting to me that, you can see more dirt, like he's been rolling around in some stuff. I don't know. Also, what's weird, look, hold on. Was this assembled differently? Look how different the chin looks. Interesting. Might be a slight variation in the mold that day. But yeah, I think we lose something by actually getting rid of the color. It's kind of funny. And speaking of, we got another couple heads, so I'm not entirely certain what this head is meant to be, but it's pretty cool in and of itself. Still the same details. The scar's in a weird spot, like it moves over just a little bit, but like they keep the same details, the red blood and all that. Hey, stop doing that. But like the mouth, like seeing the tongue actually be different. Like I'm sure they did what they could to like Pantone match the actual black and white footage, but like I feel like he's definitely just missing something. Like without the red there, you don't realize that's actually a wound or another scar or something like that. More dirt and all this coming back here. It's something they just negate. Like this is a simpler paint job, and it's like I guess there's no good way other than putting various like dark blues and like they could have done with some dark blue to do it. Like even the eyes, they don't work the same. It's weird. It looks like somebody who's done a black and white Halloween costume and that's their face paint. Does that make sense? Like this would look really great, but this looks like somebody who painted themselves black and white. Like I think even the hair loses its something, because it's also a very flat matte paint where this has some gloss to it. I feel like we lost something there. Alright, so now we got the different types of hands. So we got the outreaching hand, the kind of walking around with the arms outstretched kind of hands, or reaching for the doctor hands. And we have some lightly holding hands, which he does actually have a couple small items to hold, including like this hand that is pinching something super tight. Once again, really nice shading on all that, even the gray fingernail polish, as it were. And then, once again, just you're missing something. Like it looks like somebody painted gray versus a black and white similar image. It's kind of funny. And we'll look at the daisies. I guess I do have a little bit of wash on them. Maybe, or maybe it just stands out just between the petals there. And this is another case of black and white ones end up looking kind of cartoony in comparison. It still works, but kind of cartoony. It would also be very interesting if they gave us like the little girl and the dog and the old man, or the dog, the blind old man, as it were. And the final accessory, the difference is in his chains. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to see. So right off the bat, they do use a real metal actual chain link here. That's pretty cool. And then plastic cuffs, the old school style of cuffs here. So the hinge there, and it's rough metal, like it's been actual hammered together. It does actually have what looks to be some rust. The chain is a bit brownish, Try to be kind of rusty. Whereas this one, the chain is just super gray. But here's the thing. This actually looks better. In my opinion, the weathering on the black and white chains looks totally better than the original. So let's go ahead and combine some of these accessories with the actual figures. Alright, so a bit of different combination of stuff. So got him here with that face and the chains on. You do have to remove hands to put the chains on, which is perfectly fine because you end up doing things like this. And then use the other like holding hands to get him to hold the little bitty daisies. And that's actually pretty good in its own right. Getting him to kneel, though, not the easiest thing in the world without having some type of leg rotation. So then if you have the knee rotation here, you can't really get his feet to do that. So I've got his feet turned and then the ankles pivoted, but now the pants aren't necessarily facing the right direction. It's a little awkward. And I wanted to actually have him doing a one-legged kneel, and you kind of can't. There's just not enough flexibility in it. Here we go. Get a little bit of that neck tilt in there. I will say, like, the happy face, even in black and white, is pretty fantastic. It's actually pretty hard to get that daisy in his fingertips because the stem is so narrow, but it is curved in just the right way. So let me fix him here as best I can. So usually what happens if you flex the feet enough, you end up with royally screwing up his ability to stand ever again. So like here, we'll have him offering you guys one of the flowers. There we go. Good picture of that. Frank. He's like, hey, what about me back here? I'm freaking chains, man. Alright, so let me do another thing real quick, just for fun. Alright, so there we go. Nice little fun scene there, changing some stuff up with some of the other kind of human figures I have. Also, good size comparison. So there's our Casey Jones, who's the tallest human-ish person we have so far. And then he's, like, towering. Obviously, like, if I had Super Shredder over here, which I don't, because I don't feel like pulling him out if he's behind everybody. Super Shredder is definitely going to be taller by a good bit. Regular Shredder is not really taller than Casey Jones, so it is what it is. But you can see him there with April offering up a flower, and Casey looking like, what the hell just happened to me? How do I keep ending up in this mess? And then the ghost of Frankenstein past back there freaking out. I think adding some weathering to the chain, like if I did it myself, will probably make it a little bit happier for me. But like the black and white one looks pretty good with the chain. Maybe not with the daisies and stuff. The color one definitely is the best when it comes to the daisies. So I think that's fantastic. Let's put him back here so it's a little more obvious, like what the heck is going on. He's sort of like, seriously? I need a proper fist hand for Casey. It's the only thing that's missing for this guy. I think he should have some fists. I think it would look a little bit better, unless he was just incapable of moving his hands. But for the most part, it's a great figure overall. Whether you want the black and white version or the colorized version, I'm torn between if I'm going to keep both or just keep the color one now. I was kind of really only thinking about keeping the black and white one. But given its kind of cartoony appearance, like I almost want to add a little bit more shading to it, a little more stuff, and weather up the chain a little bit because it's a little bit lax in the weathering. There we go. Add that little gravity there. But as it goes, like it's just fun. So I got to get a picture of this real quick. Hold on, this is just too good. And also, she's trying to interview him, but of course he can't speak just yet. But guys, that's going to be it for this Frankenstein. Not so quickie, but it is what it is. I really enjoyed this. Obviously, as more Universal monsters come out, I will definitely check out the rest of them. Same thing with the TMNT Universal crossover monsters. Those look like they're going to be really, really cool. Starting out with the Raph Frankenstein, and then now a Igor-esque version of Leonardo, which is also kind of crazy. Though I don't know why you know, Donnie wouldn't have been the Frankenstein. I guess he would have been the Frankenstein's monster. Though I think in the past, in one of the previous iterations, they did it that way, but I'm not sure. So I have more NECA figures to look at, including another Casey Jones, which is interesting in and of itself, and of course some foot ninjas, as it were. But that's it, guys. I'll see you next time. Remember, as always, keep on nerding.